Go ahead. So, guy got mad because he blew up his woofers after about a year. He wanted bigger, stronger, didn't want to pay for it. I told him, you know, each woofer would be $400 each. If he wanted something stronger, something that I'd recommend, something that he has now, which is the Lightning Audio Storm Series 15s. And then he's got a BD 1500 on each one, which is a little excessive, but I understand. So, but... he goes, no. He goes, I want to buy subwoofers, and then if anything happens to them, you fix them for free. And I was like, oh, you want that deal? I was like, okay, well, then that's $800 each. Because that's what the store does. The store just charges you double or triple per subwoofer. And then when you fuck them up, then they go, yeah, sure, we'll give you one for free because, you know, you may not come back. And I said, well, if I charge you $800 each, you'll take better care of them. He goes, no, I'll abuse them the same. I was like, well, then you can go. And I start to carry the subwoofers out, and he's like, no, you can have those. I was like, okay, done. I'll take a gift. So, but it was it was actually the prototype. Corny Boy, Daniel Cornelius, I built them some 10s out of these motors, and they're fucking really, I call them sharp, just because it's got a really high BL and kind of a tight gap. On a 2.5-inch coil. Let me see, where did I put the other one? There it is. So 2.5 quad stack, very beefy, probably good for about 1200, even 1500 watts each. And he just smoked them. And it was funny though, the whole time he kept, you know, sort of denying responsibility. The spiders look great. So the tinsels look great. Nothing wrong with those, but then you look at that thing, it's all scraped up. Look at the inside, it's all discolored. So another unhappy person at me. So, but again, when people abuse their shit, there's nothing I can do about that. Nothing. So, but if they get mad that I don't even want to try it, I'm like, well, I've been through this before. I don't need to try because there's nothing I can do. Now, can I do something for free? Sure, if I want to. And then that's when people feel self-pity and they go, well, you have plenty, you have lots. And I'm like, the thing I don't have is time. And I don't have time to put up with abuse like that, and people that abuse their equipment and people that want to abuse me. So, but you know, he's got face tattoos and he's a kind of a thug. I think he lives on the res when he wants to, but it's like, I don't know. It's like some of those guys make good money otherwise, but they still stay on the res so they can make even more money. And then, I don't know, it's a whole thing. But that's why, you know, I end up having the attitudes that I have, which is that, you know, macho kills everything. Macho always finds the weak link. What I'm saying is, don't do that. Be grateful, be helpful, be loving, be kind to your equipment. Don't sit there and you go, well, Patrick, I can't. That's not the way I feel. Well, then you need to try harder. You need to make more money. You need to, and see, that's what's funny. Even if I charged them $800 each, that's still half price considering what a shop would charge. So the best thing I can do is just cut that guy loose. Let him be mad at me and let him go buy, you know, whatever, go buy some Sundown. So, and see what happens. So when you pay $1,000, $800 per woofer, let's say he would replace with like an XV3, XV2, whatever it is, which is about what I would upgrade him to. And those are $800-900 each. And then he blows them up and then he brings them back. And, you know, then I would love to see that conversation with him and the dealer. So anyways, happy Monday to you guys. I love you. It was funny too when the guy called me and I was like in the middle of drying my balls off and after I made a nice doo-doo, and he was like upset that the gates were closed, and I was like, well, you know, I'm only open on the weekends, and I'm like you're lucky you caught me at this time. And then I was like, then I gotta finish up my game of Candy Crush, dry my balls off, and then get dressed. And you know, I consider that my time, but you know, that's what's funny about selfish people is they don't give a shit. So they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your time. They don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves. And those are children. Children tend to be that way, especially when you don't discipline them, when you don't teach them any other way. So like maybe to negotiate instead of just be a terrorist and demand stuff. So I love you guys. I'll do my best to get some more stuff done. I wanted to show you guys these real quick. Very sad guy brought these in. Brought this woofer in too. This was a good little woofer. I love this woofer. It's only got a 2.5-inch coil, but it's got a huge magnet on it. So you pop the cap off and rip that a little bit, but I'll put a dust cap on there back, make it new again. So he brought these in, and these are from Samsung. And that one turned out okay. What I did was I basically took out the transformer and the heatsink, which I'm saving for later. Not the board. The board's probably trashed, but the heatsink can be reused. That's a really nice heatsink for something else. Look how beautiful that is. So you just pop those devices off, and then you can use the heatsink for something else. And then these transformers are beautiful, very nice. So I'll keep those, and you can see right there. So it's plus or minus 30, and then plus or minus 60 for the rail voltage. But and that'll make something nice. You can buy a lot of modules that are pre-made from like Alibaba for super cheap, and they'll do like 400 or 500 watts each. So that'll be good for that kind of project. Again, if I can ever get to it. So, but what I did was I took those off, and then I just put a one of these on the outside so that you couldn't fuck up the connection, and then the whole powered thing doesn't work anymore. It's a passive unit. All I did was add a capacitor on the tweeter, and then the woofer should run full range. That one turned out good, but this one ends up shorting out the receiver, so I'm betting that the woofer got blown. Both these got really dropped bad, and it killed the amps on them, and so I'm thinking that maybe it did something to the woofer. So anyways, I don't really want to get into it because you got to get in there and get all those screws and get that whole thing off and get the woofer out, and then see. Hopefully there's a grill on the front. Oh, there is. There's a grill on the front. You just take those off, and then you can take the woofer out. So I'll just do that, and then I'll probably change both woofers out. And then what I do is I sell the good one as a Samsung genuine replacement, right? Because people are so, is this genuine? I'm like, yeah, it's genuine. It's a working pull. So, and then I have some other generic Chinese ones. Let's see if I can find them. Meh, I can't see them. Where's my PA shit? I keep a lot of PA samples too, because those aren't really made for bass, even though people try to use them for bass. Again, you don't want to do that. You want to be like my buddy David from Jamaica. He finally listened to me, which was great because I'd known him for a couple of years and helped him with like horns and woofer replacements, things like that. I said, hey man, you really need to get this, and he let me build him like a 1500 watt 18, and then I built the boxes for him too. I think he got 2 of them. And he's like, oh, everybody loves you. He's like, yeah, exactly. You need excursion. You need bass. So anyways, I really wanted to just document that guy because he seemed like he was going to be trouble. But I tell you what, his attitude changed as soon as I pulled out the camera. It's funny how people are more conscious or more aware or more careful whenever they know they're being watched. So, but that's, that was one of the tools that religion was used for, because you tell little kids like Elf on the Shelf is watching you, or you tell the kids, God is watching you, and then all of a sudden, what do you know? Dumb little kids act better. So anyways, I love you. I'll talk to you later.